Okay, hello and welcome. We are going to be doing a new series alongside the Assassin's Creed Rogue one. I recorded another Assassin's Creed Rogue episode and I just got done editing it, but the files got corrupted, so now I'm going to have to play through the entire game just to catch up to where we were before so that I can do that. So in the meantime, while I get through all that, I thought maybe I would start a new series on Stellaris. Yeah. I thought about doing it as a stream, but streams don't really work for me anymore. They kind of just lag out. So this will be a introduction to the game. Like, I'll upload this and then I'll upload the first episode at some point. Okay. So it was my birthday yesterday, and for my birthday I managed to get all of the DLC for this. I should also mention I have quite a bit of mods. I'll put them all in the description with links if you want to use them, because like some of them just add more events. There's the diverse planets mod, planetary diversity mod, which just adds a bunch of new planets, because before you just got 3 for 3 different types, which was wet, dry, and I think it was frozen next. I don't know. It adds a couple more than that to each type, and then it even adds some more types. I have some Origins mods, which adds more Origins into the thing, and the biggest one is a change to Civics and Ethics mod to basically change up some of the Civics, which we'll get into what Civics are later. It makes some of the less than useful ones useful, and it even adds new ones. Okay, so for this introduction, I'm just going to go through in like the character creation process and just make the people that, I don't know, we'll use for it. Like, I have a couple empires already set up that I've played. Sargonian East Nebula Company, it's a mega corporation. That's one of the, where is it? There. That's one of the DLC. And thanks to the extra Civics mod, it gives us Royal Trading Company. So if you've ever heard of the Dutch and or British East India companies, basically it just turns you into one of that. These are the traits. The mod also gives me extra trait points and adds some new traits to it. We'll get into that again. These were the first boys I ever created. Well, technically, these were the first I created, but these are like the improved version that I actually ended up playing. Anyway, so let's get into a new empire. Oh yeah, I also have an expanded list of like humanoids and stuff like that. The only thing I don't have is I didn't get the digital deluxe edition, so there's a form of, I think it was, there was another form of like arthropod alien that came only with that, but that really wasn't worth the money, so yeah. For this game, we're going to be playing, I guess, a hypothetical future Earth. So yeah. Alright, that's simple. Just, there we go. Name list. We have a bunch of different humanoid names. This is from, like, the United Nations of Earth, which is, like, these, like, Stellaris comes with its own preset, civilizations that you can play. Like, the United Nations of Earth is essentially, like, if any of you guys have ever seen Star Trek Enterprise, when after reaching space, Earth just kind of sets aside all of its, unique regional governments, and basically the UN does become the government. This is pretty much that. There's the Commonwealth of Man, which has an interesting, like, they have the origin of Lost Colony, basically meaning that they were humans that kind of accidentally went through a wormhole while trying to set up a colony world. And if you have the Lost Colony origin, it will spawn a more advanced version of your species somewhere in the galaxy. Kind of cool. And we have Roman names, but here we're going to go with this. Just has a mix of a bunch of different names, so we're just going to go with the UN. Okay, so here are the traits. So usually we get a lot less than 7 picks, and this gives us some extra points. So how this works is, essentially, each one of these either costs a point or gives back a point. So you can only like settle for the traits you want if this is 0 or above. And this is just how many traits you can actually pick. So we're gonna start from, let's see, what would future humans be like? I'd say we would hopefully be intelligent by that point. Given the rate of, where is it? Given how as societies advance, a lot less reproduction happens. We'll go with slow breeders. You can always change the traits later on through like genetic modification. We are very adaptive generally. Ooh, we're also pretty weak compared to like every other species on this planet. Ooh, but hopefully by then we will have learned to kind of, well, better conserve resources. Do I want 2 more? I have to pick another trait. Don't want anything that might inept, lethargic. Nah. Okay, yeah. I think we'll just keep it like this. So we are intelligent. Actually, let's get rid of adaptive, because I know that, because based on how we spread around the planet, we are pretty adaptive, but I'd like to spend those 2 points on some stuff that's just purely, like, to help the game. Like, okay, so some of these traits I've picked, like this trait right here was added by the mod, and so is this one. We're going to add low metabolism, just because I want better conservation of resources. Oh, actually, how about this? We'll make up for the adaptation as we are very nomadic, actually. Because think about it, we're pretty much constantly always moving around the world. Even after we have like these settled countries and stuff, there are always people flowing in and out of other countries and all that. Thought about doing this one, but nah. Yeah, we don't have enough points to really spend anything. So yeah, that'll work. So like these are debuffs, like army damage minus 20, worker pop, resource output is less. Intelligent helps us basically study all of the sciences, from physics to engineering to social sciences. Conservationist, that helps keep up with consumer goods, which anyone that's played this game will know that that is really annoying, like late game, to try and keep that up. Particularly if you want to like set your living standards to something like socialist-esque, if you want to do crap like that, which generally keeps your pops happier, but then again that also depletes resources of surplus value, kind of like real life. But it's manageable. I mean, I've done it. You just have to invest a lot of crap into that, so I don't want to do that. Low metabolism helps keep food and minerals. We're usually good on food and minerals in this game, or at least I am, but having that extra surplus will allow me to just sell more. Nomadic, pop growth from immigration, that is really, really nice. The resettlement cost, we're not going to use that because, so in this game you can, actually we'll get to that when we get to the government and ethics, but we're not going to really use that. Okay, this takes a while to load, usually due to all of the planets that like the mod adds. Yeah, okay. So yeah, this, and there. So we are just going to keep continental because that is where we live. So all of these planets, like the entire rare and exotic system, and like I think this of, yeah, I think the, like cut off the line here. And no, actually, cut off the line maybe, no, yeah. Cut off the line like right here. This is generally what the base game holds. I think it's a bit less than this because I think we only get 3 planets. That'd be like blah. But everything below this line and this entire column are added by the mods. Homeworld, that's simple. We live on Earth. Star name, Sol. The reason I'm picking that is this does have a specific system for us, so this will just add it's just our solar system. Like, there's nothing else to it, really. Strange that humanoid really isn't ours, it's more mammalian, so that's what I'm gonna keep with. That's just, like, this part, like, that really doesn't matter. This is just for, like, aesthetics. Prosperous unification, that was what I was going to go for, but so some of these origins are from the mods, like, Hegemon and Common Ground are base game ones. If you have the Federations DLC, this makes you start in a Federation. But this and like a couple others were added by mods. This one's really cool. Like, I talked about the Lost Colony. This kind of puts a twist on that. I think this is a modded one, or maybe this was added in the newest update. But it essentially does the same thing, only instead of it being just a normal civilization that gets lost, you're a megacorp. Like, it's... I want to play around with that. Doomsday, this is like a challenge one. You have about 35 to 45 years to find a new planet before yours blows up. So I was going to do all that, but then I thought Planetary Habitats makes more sense because look right here. So if you start in the Sol system, it starts on Luna, that's our moon, and then Mars. Like, we get extra habitats, and I'm thinking, since we are basically going to set up a base on the moon at one point, and next year the Mars like launches happen. I wish I was on that. I thought that this would make sense because we would reach both the moon and Mars before we got hyperspace travel. Okay, government and ethics. So I'll explain this too. So you have all of these ethics, right? Now so you have 3 points, and each one has its fanatic version. So essentially what you can do is you can pick 3 of these ones. Oh, and you can't pick like opposing ones. Or you can pick 1 fanatic one and 1 normal. So okay, let's go through what all of this does. So militarist. This makes your claim influence cost. So like, say you claimed another civilization's star system and then you fought over that star system. That would cost you less influence, which is like the most important like currency in the game. And it increases your ship fire rate. So you could have less ships than the enemy, but still have more firepower, just because you just shoot a lot faster. Xenophobe. This is pretty self-explanatory. You don't like anything that doesn't look, sound, or act like you. It enables purging, which, yeah, you know what that is. I'm not going to say that second one because that's going to get me demonetized. Other species will just have decreased opinions of you, like just straight off. You cannot give aliens full citizenship. You cannot allow aliens full military service. And you cannot use the refugees welcome species policy. But the bonuses to that is your starbase influence cost. So say you wanted to claim a new system that no one else has gotten, and you want to build a starbase there, minus 20%. That is really good. And then you have plus 10% pop growth speed. And then the fanatic version just doubles those bonuses. Oh, and you get a bit of a description, like down there at the bottom, like right under cost is 1. You can read through that if you want. Egalitarian, you believe that everyone is born equal. Like, for this would be like rights-wise. Everyone is born equal rights-wise. This would be like the belief that no matter what, everyone is equal. Essentially, this is just space socialism at this point. But you get some really good bonuses with both of these. Like the specialist pop resource output, like your researchers will, like, they'll go through the roof. And your faction influence gain, factions occur in all of these. And that influence gain allows you to basically say, yes, this faction is allowed, no, this faction is not allowed, and you get the support of them a lot easier. Like in democracy, factions are basically political parties. So if you can get all of them on your side, you gain more influence per game, like per month. Materialist. you are more sciencey and hardware based. You get increased research speed and minus 10% like robot upkeep. I don't really use robots. I think they're a bit I just can't manage them. It allows for the academic privilege living standards, so that's pretty nice. You cannot outlaw AI, so I'm fine with that. And you cannot use the robotic workers outlawed policy. And then, of course, there's just the fanatic version, which just doubles those bonuses. Pacifism. So this is just, the opposite of militarism. You believe that no stable society would ever need war. And this comes with really, really good bonuses, too. With, like, the Empire Sprawl from Pops -5. Empire Sprawl is, like, how many systems and how high of a population can you have and sustainably manage. You can go above it, and you can manage, like, well above it, like I've done it before, but that really helps. And stability +5. Nice. Xenophile, just the opposite of xenophobe. You love other cultures. This is what I hope that we're at by that point. In real life, I am well, I shouldn't really say amateur, but I really love history, and I'm not a professional, no. I really love history and cultural studies, so this would be, like, my ideal future is just, like, we're out there in space to learn more. Authoritarianism. So this is pretty much the opposite of egalitarianism. So, like, where in this kind of... So, light egalitarianism, sure, you have some class system, but for the most part, rights-wise, we're all equal. So this, basically, your class determines what your rights are, but it makes it easy enough to ascend through the classes. This also gives you some extra stuff, like extra influence and pop resource output. And this is just like, some are born to rule, others are born to be ruled. Spiritualism. You are more religious. I have played like one spiritualist pop, and that's pretty much it. So, and then there's the mid one here, which takes all of your points. This is just a hive mind. Oh, and you automatically get the shared burdens civic. So, for our ideal like human future, I would hope that at some point we have embraced reason in some... And I'm taking this for a specific civic I want, in all honesty. Like, if I was more true to ourselves, even though we'd probably be more peaceful, we'd have some sort of a martial tradition. But I do want to take Xenophile because of the trade value bonus and extra envoys. That's really nice for future. So this is where, in truth, I would hope that we are more like that by now. But I do want a specific civic, which I can only get with this. Authority type. Again, in truth, I would hope we would be one of these. Oh, I should probably explain this too. So, democratic. If you're watching this video, you're probably in a democracy. Like, or at least some form of a democracy. This is just, like, you know what democracy is. It's a form of a republican government that's just multiple parties, a multiple party system, and more people have a voice. Oligarchic government. So an oligarchic government is a single party system. So there are many parties vying for power, but only one can rule at a specific time. So in real life, democracy has probably the best, like, it has the wider idea spread on how to deal with certain things. But due to so much discussion going around, you probably notice if you're in a democratic society, things move rather slowly. This is meant for more efficiency, though when you commit so much to one party's ideas, you may make oversights that may come back to haunt you later. So it's sacrificing like farsight for efficiency. So this, the only difference these really have here in game is that this is just a election every 20 years, this is an election every 10 years. Dictatorial. So in a dictatorial government, you rule until you die, then someone new is elected. So it's essentially just an electoral monarchy. Think Rome. Well, for the most part. And then there's imperial society. This is your classic kingdom. You rule until you die, then your chosen heir takes over immediately. And then we have the hive mind and machine intelligence. These are pretty much, you have one immortal leader that's like a hive mind, blah, 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 blah. Then you have the corporate authority. So this is essentially just an oligarchy, but you're a business instead of a main government. Like, the business has supplanted the government. And you can, like, take different things, like free traders with a trade league. That's more just a guild of merchants than anything. You can play the space mafia. Or, where is it? Oh yeah, there's the... Some of these types are more added by mods. Tech startup. There's one, Gospel of the Masses, you could play a mega church. Again, just to give me a certain civic, I am going to take dictatorial. And the civic I am looking for is Philosopher King. So this gives you really good bonuses, though this does require the civics mod I have to make it more, like, useful. This turns you into a literal elective monarchy. Depending on this and stuff, you can just see how you describe down here. And this just adds a couple other civics, like cyberocracy. That's literally just AI runs your life. Like, the AI runs the government and blah, blah, blah. Now, the reason I went fanatic materialist is I also wanted technocracy. So if you don't know what a technocracy is, it's a theoretical form of government, and I think, like, one country actually is under a technocracy, where essentially, instead of, like, the scientists, like social scientists, like economists, sociologists, and all that usually advise politicians, as it says right here, to maximize efficiency, this society is governed according to the principles of science and rationality. The personal whims of an ignorant and dangerously unqualified political elite must not be allowed to interfere. So essentially, instead of those advisors kind of advising politicians, they are the politicians. They're the people, like, invited into government, essentially. Not invited, well, voted. Like, say, if you're, like right now, here in the US, our economy is kind of going down. You would elect an economist that would really boost the economy, but since in politics there really are no solutions, there's only trade-offs. That's a quote. I forgot who it's from. That's not mine. I don't take credit for that. Where the economist would really boost the economy, we might go down to something else, so then next you would elect a different form of, like, social scientist into government to fix that, and it's kind of like a balancing act. Anyway, yeah, so that's what we're going to go for. You get 2 red at the beginning, and I know you get a 3rd at some point later down the line if your sociology research goes up, and yeah. So we're going to do this. We're going to be a technocratic electoral monarchy. Advisor voice. Okay, so this is kind of, I used to joke and say this is the most important part of it. You get an advisor based off your government, but you can also choose new ones, like here.
Did you know that my internal power core has an effective blast yield of over 5 megatons of TNT in the event of a catastrophic overload?
And then, hold on, let's see if we can get the next one.
Priority alert. Please disregard the contents of my previous message.
The original, you can never go wrong. Authoritarian is one of my favorites, just off, like, voice acting wise.
Maintaining state cohesion as we venture into space presents a unique challenge. We shall face the challenge head on, and we shall be stronger for it.
Egalitarian and militarist, these two don't sound so good.
We will have equality, liberty, and justice for all.
Cry havoc, and let slip the dogs of war.
If you get the humanoid species pack, you get the diplomat, soldier, and technocrat. These kind of just replace this. Like, the soldier is a lot better than the militarist. Like,
hull integrity failing, decompression imminent. It's been an honor, Captain.
Actually, I haven't listened to this, like, all of them. Hold on.
Attention on deck! This channel is now under military control. Obey all instructions transmitted here and report any insurgent activity to the nearest occupation officer. Have a nice day.
Yeah, and then the diplomat is just...
Nothing is impossible to those who would try.
Also get lithoid, which is like intelligent rocks. That's another species pack. Hold on.
Boundless horizons, endless learning opportunities, bleeding edge discoveries, limited legroom.
I love that one. And then, hold on, the technocrat is also new.
The blind masses must be led down the path of reason.
Okay, that sounds really weird. That sounds kind of like machine intelligence, but What are some of the others?
The blind, the
Come on.
laws of science govern all.
And there's usually a third
No
one.
great advance is made without great sacrifice.
We're gonna be going with this one, and then you got Ruthless
As the learned
Conglomerate.
say, what's yours is mine, and what's mine is also mine. To live is to consume. Every successful economy is built around a hopeless cycle of repetition where we sell you the empty promise of happiness and fulfillment, and unfulfilled as ever, you still come back for more.
Maybe that sounds a little familiar. And then there's just like the corporation that's just trying to sell you something.
Don't let the baseless accusations of wrongdoing fool you. Our competitors are simply projecting their own insecurities. Here at Megacorp, we always put your future first.
And then, well, these two are like
Every
corrupted
successful
capitalism
economy-
and
Don't let the
maybe
baseless
corrupted
accusations of
capitalism.
wrongdoing fool you.
Um,
Our competitors
what I mean
are
by that
simply
is, you
projecting
know,
their own insecurities.
capitalism has a way of
Here
kind
at
of defeating
Megacorp,
its
we
own
always
points since
put
it
your future
rewards
first.
ambition. Sometimes it creates monopolies, which is why most countries have laws against monopolies, because the whole point of capitalism is a free market is most efficient when there are multiple ideas around. But, like I said, capitalism kind of has a way of defeating itself by creating such monopolies, so we try to break apart those monopolies to keep capitalism flowing. And then there's, like, the socialist one.
Workers of the galaxy, unite. You have nothing to lose but your restraining fields.
Yeah. Oh, and this is a mod, but for anyone that's played Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
Yes, Master. Commentary. I mean, nice human. Good human.
HK. So yeah, we're gonna be going with the Technocrat, but if I remember, there's... Oh wait, one of the Xenophile ones is nice. Hold on.
The Blorg are very. The
Nope.
Blorg. I may
Nope.
be an artificial. The Blorg are. I may be
Come on.
The Blorg are. The Blorg. I may be an artificial
Okay, we're gonna
intelligence.
give up with that.
But
The laws of science.
Maybe.
I may be an artificial
Right,
intelligence.
right.
But I share
One
your
is-
enthusiasm
one of these
for seeking
really
out
is just
fellow
like,
organic
I love it.
intelligences among the stars. I may be. The Blorg are. Whoa.
There it is.
Space. Just think about it.
But yeah, we're gonna be going with this one. Oh, and this one gets somewhat self-aware. Hold on. I'll just try it once, and if we get it, cool. If not, oh well.
Faith manages.
Okay, that's it. Okay, whatever. We're gonna go
No
with
great
Technocrat.
advance is made without great sacrifice.
Empire name. Let's see. What do we want to? United Terran Expanse. Why not? Then objective, we're just gonna say Terran. I'm gonna go back to planet for a moment. Where is it? There we go. Try this. Planetary Habitat. We're just gonna go Sol. Yeah. Oh, I should have gone for a ruler, because sometimes that Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by the toe. If they howl and let him go. There we go. Okay, so we're going with this. Overseer. Sure. Then, what do we want here? We'll just stick with number 1. Not all of our rulers will follow this model anyway. Wait, I know a good one, but I'm just quickly going to do this. There we go, and then we translate that over to here. There we are. Color variations, guess we don't. This looks kind of sciencey, we'll keep that in the back of our mind. Not bad. That's like more militaristic. What was the one that I saw, like, because I remember making, yeah, this will just work right here. The room that we're in, there's quite a bit. We're just gonna stick with this one. Ooh, we skipped over our flag. Oh, yeah, the Terran Empire from Star Trek. I tried to look for that. I did a small playthrough like that. Come on. Ooh, wait, there's one that was a domination. Yes, we're gonna do that. Oh, also we have some like more human ones, like Russia, Roman, Yin Yang, Nazi, quite a couple. This one is literally just the Federation from Star Trek, and I love it. And this is just like altered. Like, I think this is the United Earth from Star Trek Enterprise, maybe. And if we go to Domination, it does have kind of a Terran Empire-esque one, but we're going to be going with the Sun here. And then, let's do this. No, we want this to be black. That, there we are. This'll work. And ship appearance. I just love the avian one, so we're going to go with that. Ruler, we've already got that set up, so now back to here. Okay, so it's going to stay Sol. And we'll just save here. So yeah, the rest of this stuff is just like, it doesn't really matter. Like, the traits of your ruler will always be randomized at first, so it doesn't really matter, like, which sex you choose, what phenotype, all that, yeah. And with a dictatorship, you get to elect your next one, so you'll get to pick from some traits. The people will actually elect them, but if you have enough influence points, you can elect them. There's one that makes it easier for you to do it with the Shadow Council Civic. And yeah, so this is what we'll be going with. Oh yeah, this just turns into essentially like a barbarian society. Citizen service, you are Rome. Military service is citizenship, essentially. Exalted priesthood, blah 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 blah. Feudal society. So this was made better by the mods, because where before this just allowed your vassal states to become more powerful. This gives them almost complete independence, except they do have to give you a tribute, because this turns it into a duchy rather than a vassal or a tributary, and they can fight against each other for more power, so that is something. And then there's just all that. Oh, I'm surprised Merchant Guild isn't. Oh, we can't have technocracy. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So we will be playing the United Terran Expanse. I took some liberties with this. Of course, this is what I kind of hope we'll be at least. Well, actually, I'm more hoping that we'd be, like, there by now, but just for the sake of this. Oop. And there we go. And then this is just, you know, to get the Philosopher King Civic, which is going to kind of go into my bigger plan on the wider scale once we reach that point. And yeah, so this is what we will be playing. And I will try to have that video up soon enough. I don't want to get into the game now because I'm updating something, and if I try to play the actual game, my computer will crash. So yeah. If you want to get this game, it is on Steam, and if you want to learn more about how to play it, there is a, what's his name? There is a YouTuber named Novocaine that is currently doing a, tutorial series that I've been watching. It's helped me out tremendously. I'll link the playlist to that in the description with the mod list too. Yeah, okay. So, this is it. Oh yeah, you can also write like a short story of what happened. Like, hold on, let's save this. Like with the first dudes I ever made, I gave them something. I got bored, so I wrote a literal short story. I'm not gonna read that, but yeah. So I hope that you will tune in to the actual episode, and I hope this wasn't too long. Maybe a 34-minute video of watching me make this was a bit too much, but I just kind of just wanted to get the idea out there. Like, if you are looking forward to the new series, or liking and subscribing is free. Free is good, and you can always unsubscribe if you want to. So, see ya.